All right, this is gonna sound like an insane reach. All of the things that I'm going to speak about in this chapter review, or just in general, a lot of it is going to sound like a reach, but I promise you, if you bear with me and stick it out, this is going to make sense. Chapter 87 might have just introduced one of the craziest turnarounds in any manga that I've read in the last 3-4 years. What just happened here? And the things that I'm gonna provide, like I said, there's not a lot of grounds here for me to be reaching like this, bro, but we gotta talk about it. Dog, we just got hit with the lineage. We actually got Rudo's last name, Rudo Sherbrick. Now, obviously, you can interpret what that spells backwards. And learning about the history of the spellcasters was super important, bro. That was probably the most important part because that lines up with who Rudo is, right? And what Rudo was more than likely groomed to be. So almost everything that we've learned that, Rudo's dad was a piece of shit, this, that, and the third, a lot of that might be subject to change. Like I said, bro, this chapter, I'm more than likely going to be going on a freaking tangent talking about this, but I hope you guys stick with me. As y'all know, it's your boy DomoSenpai, the Gachiakuta enthusiast, the Kagurabachi enthusiast. And if you guys are new to the channel, I ain't have yet to subscribe, man. Make sure y'all do yourselves a favor. Go down below, hit that link in the description. We have a lot we going to be talking about, bro. Or the red subscribe button. Can't forget that part. We have a lot to talk about. But before we get into talking about that, we've known that Remlin was going to make her masterpiece. That was the big thing. Remlin was gonna make her masterpiece as soon as she got back. She wanted to leave her mark amongst all the other spellcasters. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot what the names was in the PO2 scans, right? I forgot what we called them before, but I guess spellcasters is all right. So Remlin, being Remlin, asks Rudo a specific question. She's like, hey, Rudo, what do you think of when you hear mural? And he says the typical, it's a painting on a wall, right? She says, you think that? And we get shown this. When I saw this, my mind immediately broke in pieces because I'm like, wait a second here. What does this look like, right? You got like a demon here. You got like something that's maybe protecting something in the clouds here. You're seeing all of these weird paintings. And we learned that they're from somebody called Makaka Aiko, and he was the first spellcaster. But things take a really, really, really left turn. After we run in the engine, him and Bra talk about why they were here. They was making sure they were keeping us in check, like making sure we wasn't in trouble. And I remember Gav, he was the latest spellcaster, right? And he was killed. And I don't remember if we ever learned why he was murdered, but that was so long ago, bro. I would have to go back and reread everything again just to try to remember. But this is where things get wicked, because when we see Makaka Iko and his painting and we look below it, do you guys recognize that? You recognize the Watchman series? This is where I lost my mind, because I'm like, what? What are these doing here, bro? I need answers. And Rudo and Engine had the same exact reaction that I had after seeing it. It's like, bro, what are those doing here? Remember, I've had this odd feeling that Corvus knows a little too much. And again, this is where I get to reaching, because we move over to Corvus and he's got this look of, oh, I already knew what you wanted to find out. The interesting part, look, I'm telling you guys, context means everything. You go from this insane bit of information that we're given to Corvus looking like this and Kyoka looking for the spherite, and just because she wants information, dude, they want to basically dissect, bro. That's what they want to do. I want to point something out real quick. Do y'all remember the first time we saw Corvus looking out the window and we saw what was on the back of his neck? Y'all remember when we saw that? Now, clearly, these eyes are very different, but don't act like you didn't think the same exact thing when you saw this, right? Because again, that's where my mind went. I'm like, oh, no wonder Corvus knows so much. Maybe he already saw the gloves and came to that same conclusion of, oh, I know what lineage he's from. I know who he is. And that's the idea that this face gave me, bro. Because again, Corvus doesn't do things without thinking a million steps ahead, right? He's just that type of guy. Seeing this, I'm like, what if it changed over time? Like he disguised it. And he's from that lineage, you know what I mean? Like whatever this eye is, I always see an eye and I think of Horus, bro. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what could this potentially be? And Remlin's an idiot, bro. We know Remlin's an idiot. She said, I never noticed. Does that mean you're a fan of The Undertaker from the old days? And we learned that all of the logos here represent the best friends of the first spellcaster, Gachiakuta. We don't know all of their names anymore, but we know the one that goes with that logo. One of Gachiakuta's best friends, The Undertaker, Canis Sherbrick. So here is my thought process on that. They called him The Undertaker, which is interesting regarding the name. Not even just the Canis, it's just the Sherbrick side. Because Canis, I forgot what Canis translates to, but obviously it has something to deal with like a dog. And Sherbrick, when you guys read that backwards, it's Cerberus. And what was Cerberus? Cerberus was the three-headed guardian of Hell's Gates, which is interesting when you think of the Watchman series, right? This is where, like I said, I'm gonna start going on tangents because the idea that Rudo comes from the family line of somebody who maybe was protecting the underworld, right? Because again, that's what Cerberus did. He was the guardian of the gates of hell. That's what he did. He was the three-headed dog. And look, I don't want to be a fucking conspiracy theorist or anything, but dude, even I know 2 + 2 = 4, and there's 3 things here, right? 3 circles, and it's like, Cerberus got 3 heads. All right, look, man, I hate reaching. I'm not a guy who likes reaching, but it's just, you can't help but see this and be like, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But it's too coincidental, right? It's too coincidental. We learn who Canis Sherbrick is. We learn that Rudo's last name is Sherbrick. And this is where my theory came to mind. I just thought about it. Is Recto one of these? I didn't see any other symbol that is related to Recto in any sort of like facet, you know what I mean? But could Recto be the descendant of Gachiakuta? Because it's very strange, right? It's very strange. I'm cooking, let me cook. These spellcasters are all getting knocked off, right? We don't know where Rudo's pops went. He's on one of the symbols, right? We don't know if his pops is really dead. We don't know if his pops is right there as the Watchman. We don't know. Recto, murdered, right? We don't know why. Gob, the last spellcaster, right? The previous one was killed. We don't know why. It's like somebody is trying to kill off all of the people who are protecting the ground floor, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, my brain immediately stopped working as soon as I got to cooking on that. But it's weird. They're all getting knocked off one by one. Who's doing this? It literally leads back to the first chapter, you know, of us trying to figure out why Recto was murdered. Who's going around assassinating these people? That is the biggest mystery of this entire manga, and it's the original premise. I'm ready to have my mind blown, I'm gonna be honest. Why was Rudo kept a secret? Why did he not know about this? He knows his last name, but he doesn't know where he comes from. Kind of crazy. What was Recto doing up on the surface, right? On the sphere. Why was he there? Why was he protecting Rudo? Why did he have the book? Why was he murdered? What was the information he was holding? Were the angels framed? They picked up the book. Why did they grab the book? Just how important is that? They cared about the Watchman series. Think about that. They cared about the Watchman series. It's almost like they were protecting it. Maybe the angels are the descendants of Gachiakuta. Maybe the angels are one of these very emblems under here. I'm telling you, bro, there's so much for chapter 87. Now, you guys are gonna see chapter 87 before you see 86 because there wasn't really a lot in chapter 86 for me to talk about. So this is like the most important chapter, period. I wouldn't say it's the most important, but it's like the centerpiece to everything that I wanted to see from this series, bro. And now we're really going back. Like, what does this have to do with Zodil? Does he come from the lineage of one of these? Is that completely possible? I don't know, man. Thank y'all for continuing to really, really, really support your boy. I want to know all your theories and everything, all your feedback, all of that. That being said, it's your boy, DomoSenpai, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.